Have you ever received something good that you didn't expect and didn't earn? Maybe someone forgave you when you were sure they wouldn't. Maybe someone helped you when you had nothing to give back. That quiet, surprising feeling, warm, relieving, almost too good to be true, is a small picture of what the Bible calls grace. Grace is one of the most important ideas in the Bible, but it can also feel hard to understand at first. Many people think it means being perfect or doing everything right so that God will accept you. But grace is actually the opposite of that. Grace means receiving love, kindness, and forgiveness even when we haven't earned it and don't deserve it. Imagine a child who accidentally breaks something valuable. The sound of it shattering fills the room. The child freezes, heart pounding, knowing something went wrong. Fear creeps in. What will happen now, they wonder. They may try to hide the broken pieces or avoid being seen. They expect anger. They expect punishment. But instead, the parent walks in, sees everything, and kneels down. Their voice is calm. Their face is gentle. "I forgive you," they say. In that moment, something powerful happens inside the child. The fear begins to melt. The tight feeling in their chest loosens. They feel safe again. They feel loved, even after making a mistake. That moment, that unexpected forgiveness, is a picture of grace. The Bible shows us that grace is how God relates to us. It tells us that all people make mistakes. We say things we shouldn't say. We hurt others. We fall short of what is right. It's like we've all broken something important. And deep inside, we often carry that same fear: will I be accepted? Will I be forgiven? Grace answers that question with a quiet but powerful yes. One of the clearest ways to understand grace is to think of it like a gift. Imagine someone holding out a beautifully wrapped present to you. You didn't pay for it. You didn't work for it. It's simply being offered. All you can do is receive it. That's what grace is like. It is freely given. But that doesn't mean it isn't valuable. In fact, it is incredibly valuable, more than we can fully understand. The Bible tells the story of Jesus as the greatest picture of grace. Jesus showed kindness to people who were ignored. He forgave people who were judged by others. He welcomed those who felt unworthy. Everywhere he went, people experienced something new: love without conditions. But the story of grace doesn't stop there. There is a moment in the Bible that shows just how deep grace really goes. Jesus was arrested, even though he had done nothing wrong. He was hurt, mocked, and placed on a cross. It was a painful and dark moment. To many, it looked like the end of hope. But something greater was happening. Jesus chose to go through that suffering, not because he deserved it, but because of love. The Bible explains that he took the weight of all our mistakes, the wrong things we've done, the hurt we've caused, and carried it himself. He made a way for forgiveness to be possible for everyone. That is grace in its deepest form: someone taking your place, giving you what you could never earn. And then, something even more powerful happened. After Jesus died, the story didn't end. 3 days later, he rose again. This is called the resurrection. It showed that love is stronger than death, that hope is not lost, and that grace is not temporary, it is alive. The resurrection is important because it reminds us that grace doesn't just forgive the past, it gives us a future. It tells us that no matter how broken things may seem, new life is possible. New beginnings are real. Sometimes, it can be hard to accept grace. We are used to earning things. We work hard in school, at home, in life. We learn that effort leads to reward. So when we hear that love and forgiveness are given freely, it can feel strange. It can even feel undeserved, because it is. But that's the point. Grace invites us to stop trying to earn love and instead receive it. It invites us to rest, to breathe, and to trust that we are already cared for. This doesn't mean grace is a free pass to do anything we want. Grace doesn't ignore mistakes. Instead, it changes us from the inside. When someone shows you kindness you didn't expect, it does something to your heart. It makes you want to be kinder. It softens you. It helps you grow. Grace works the same way. It teaches us how to treat others. When we understand that we are forgiven, it becomes easier to forgive. When we see that we are loved without conditions, we begin to love others in the same way. Grace spreads, quietly and powerfully, from one heart to another. Think about a time someone showed you kindness when you didn't expect it. Maybe they listened to you, helped you, or forgave you. That moment probably stayed with you. That's how grace moves. It leaves a mark, a gentle reminder that love is still present. For children, grace can be as simple as this: you are loved, even when you make mistakes. You don't have to be perfect to be accepted. For adults, grace carries a deep message: your story is not over. No matter what has happened, there is still room to grow, to heal, and to begin again. Grace is like light shining into a dark room. You might feel lost, unsure of where to go, but then the light comes in. It doesn't wait for you to fix everything first. It simply arrives, and suddenly, you can see again. Grace is like a bridge over a deep gap. On one side, there is where you are. On the other side, there is hope, peace, and connection. You cannot cross on your own. But the bridge is there, given to you, inviting you to walk across safely. In the end, grace means this: you are loved before you earn it. You are forgiven before you fix everything. You are welcomed just as you are. And that changes everything. It changes how you see yourself, not as someone who must constantly prove their worth, but as someone who already has it. It changes how you see God, not as distant or demanding, but as loving and patient. And it changes how you live, one step at a time, learning to give the same grace you have received. Grace is a gift. Grace is forgiveness. Grace is new life. And it is always being offered.